Hello again. This video is just on electrolysis. So what I wanted to do was practice some coating some items in nickel and in copper. I've mucked about a lot with it. Finally got to do it. So what I've done is make nickel electrolyte and copper electrolyte. It's easy to do. You just get a battery connector, 2 clips. If you want to do a copper electrolyte, you fill your bottle with vinegar for about this much. Fill your bottle with vinegar, add about a tablespoon of salt. That will activate it and make it work better. Then all you do is hang your 2 pieces of copper over the top, connect your terminals, leave it for a couple of hours, and you'll see it will go blue, and that's your copper electrolyte. You do the same process with nickel, and the nickel will go green. Right, then what you do is obviously you get your nickel, because I didn't have any nickel, so you get these little lumps of nickel, and you can buy them on eBay. I think they're about £8 or something like that. You get about 4 lumps, and obviously they're going to last quite a while because they're quite big. You know, they're quite thick. You do the same process obviously to make your nickel electrolyte. Then the item you want to coat, obviously you start off with, say this is just for just to show that it works. You know, you can see like the rust and that on these. So you can see that there's really old dirty old bit, so you have to clean it up to sort of this, clean it up and really give it a good scrub, stick it in, do some degreasing, make sure you've got no grease and no dirt on this, because it won't work. What I also do, I've got some brick acid or hydrochloric acid, and just before I'm going to put it in the tank, I'll just stick it in, you know, stick it in it, it'll just etch it, but make sure you've got some water ready. Just give it a little turn around, you can see it there. Wear gloves if you're prone to getting burnt by this. Obviously everybody gets burnt by this stuff, so, and it stinks, it's not a very nice smell. Just give it a little shake around, and hopefully that'll etch it. It just helps a little bit more for getting rid of the crud or anything you've missed. But you do need to make sure it's very clean, because it just won't work if you don't. Obviously you go out of that straight into water and give it a wash off. I mucked about with this for quite a while. It was a bit of a pig to get used to it. I was finding it was sitting on the surface, then I realised I was using the wrong power supply, so I was using a 12-volt battery charger. I just thought, you know, I'm not an electrician, I've not done this sort of thing before. I just thought, oh, that'll work. Wrong, it didn't work. So what you do, your neutral side of your clips will go on the part that you want to etch. So you just clip it on your part, hang that in the tank. Don't worry if you get the, you want to obviously put the whole thing in, so it doesn't matter if the clip goes in there, only cheap old clips. This again, just made it from an old, I think this was an old, what was it? I think it came out of an old remote control car, and I just took the terminal, added a couple of clips to it, a little 9-volt battery. Get your live side for your nickel electrode, stick that over. I've used copper wire to hang it over. I try to keep the copper wire out if you can. Stick the clip on there, stick your battery on, and I think you'll see that straight away bubbling away, and that now is nickel coating. This is what it ends up like. You can see, nicely coated in nickel. Ain't gonna rust now. So that's the reason I wanted to do it, because I've got some bits and pieces that are prone to rust because my shed isn't insulated, and anyway, I just got some stuff that I want to stop rusting, so I need to practice first, and this is now nickel coated. Now if you want to copper coat it, it's the same process, but you'll need to nickel coat it first. You can't put steel into your copper electrolyte and just expect it to copper plate, because it won't work. It just doesn't seem to work. So if you nickel coat it first, which is what I did with this, and I've got a couple of pictures I'll add, try and add them in the description. So I nickel coated this first. Obviously, again, make sure it's clean. I can't emphasize enough, you've got to make sure the stuff's clean, because all it will do, you'll just get patches and it won't stick to it. So nickel coat it first, and then go through the same process that I've just showed you there. Stick it in your copper electrolyte and you'll copper coat it. You might take a little time, depending on your power source. I'm just using this, it's not too bad, but you find the copper does create like a film on here, and it might take 2 or 3 times where you've got to take the part out, clean the part over and put it back in. But if you can see, it's got really quite a nice copper plate on there now, and this was just obviously it's just steel. That works quite well. Takes a bit of time, I won't lie, but I think it's worth it if you've got something that you want to protect or make look better. I'm actually doing this because I've got a big old pot here. You see this pot? Well, the lid is steel. I don't know why the lid is steel. It looks original, it fits, but everything else is solid copper. So I want to eventually copper plate this so that it matches the rest of it. So that's the whole reason why I'm going through this, and I just thought I'd share it because it does work. I mean, this is a nickel plated, if you can see that, that is nickel plated. That's a coin, and that's a 2p coin. So it's silver now, well, nickel. Okay, well, I am envious of all the people that do all these really good videos, because the time and effort it takes, I'm in awe of them. Just trying to organise this a little bit and these are silly little videos, and it still takes some time to get all the stuff together and get it done. But I enjoy it. So anyway, I hope that helps. If there's any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I'll try and answer them. I'm no scientist or electrician or anything like that. I'm just I play about with things and see if I can get them to work. And this occasion I have. It doesn't always turn out that way. But I'm sure I'll be making a few videos where I cock everything up. That's it really. Obviously, like I said, try and wear. I haven't worn gloves, but you should wear gloves if you're gonna. This is optional. This acid. If you get your part clean enough, you won't need to do it. It's just that generally I don't. So I'm using the acid. But you please be bloody careful with this, because if you get it in your eyes, it's going to burn. You're going to, you know, it's dangerous stuff. It's acid. So on that note, I'll leave you. Thanks for watching. As you can see that's working there. You pick that up. That's coating already. You see that? That is nice and coating already. So it doesn't take long. To make the electrolytes, it's obviously copper both sides or nickel both sides, collect your terminals, and it will take about an hour for it to go to sort of this nice green colour, and that's it. And you should only have to make, as long as it don't cock itself, you know, you don't cock it up, you shouldn't have to make this again. Obviously if you've got a bigger part, you make, I'm just going to use these, make a few and add them to a bigger tub so that I know I'm getting the mixture right, because I have played about with it to get it to the stage where it's working properly. It's not something that I've just literally gone on and got right the first time. I've tried this 3 or 4 times with different advice and things like that, so it's took a little while, but it's working now, so I'm quite chuffed with myself really. That's it really. I think I've covered everything. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, As I said, if you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments, even if they're bad ones, doesn't matter. I'm open to suggestion. Okay, thanks a lot, thanks for watching.